Sports Debate Show. We welcome your thoughts. Speak your mind freely. Say what you gotta say. I'm Kyla Cortez. Joining me tonight are Juan Banal and Coach Martin Antonio. Hi guys. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Watch bomb is the bomb news for tonight, I would say.
Akala ko yung traffic yung watch
Oh,
bomb.
Grabe
yung
super
traffic.
hectic. Yeah. Okay, so before we start, if you're ready to elevate your sports experience, dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus PH. Whether you're a diehard fan or simply love the thrill of the game, we've got you covered. Register now at sportsplus.ph. So let's share with you guys our hot takes for tonight. So first, last watch bomb. Next, Gilas Youth Coach. Sino nga ba ang papalit sa ating current coach? And lastly, Clay as sixth man. Is that a good idea? So let's start. Shall we?
For sure.
For sure.
Ready?
Ikaw, si Coach Hammer, galing pa yan sa kakasalita kanina. Energized na energized.
Kanina pa akong 6 a.m. ready na ready eh. Walang
Okay.
tulugan, walang lunch, walang
Dire-diretso ka today, Coach, no?
Coffee powered by caffeine.
No rest for the wicked.
Yun na yung blood mo,
Yes,
no?
yes,
Caffeine na.
yes.
Okay, so fan favorite or even most trusted NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski is now out of the sports journalism scene and moving into a smaller but surely fulfilling path career of becoming a general manager of his alma mater's basketball program. So with him leaving, he dropped $20 million out of his $35 million deal. So he signed this way back in 2022, meaning he dropped his annual salary of $7 million yearly. And he had 3 years left on his contract, but he said that he wants his life back. So I wonder what's like working in his position. Ano kaya ang rason kung bakit he dropped this deal? Toxic ba siya? Or talagang nag-iiba lang ng plano sa buhay? So, thoughts?
Well, for me, the most cryptic part, I don't know, Coach Hammer.
I want my life back.
Oo, yun eh. Yun yung pinaka-cryptic
Yes.
for me, for you to drop that statement. And for me, again, the very classic Woj bomb, the way he drops things, di ba? When he said that I want my life back, that for me, I think caused the stir. That yun yung naging usapan niya na
Yep.
parang, anong ibig sabihin niya na he wants his life back, di ba? And that,
Exactly.
I think that's why now it's obviously him retiring. Kasi ang intriguing part dun is yung what he gave up.
21 mil.
The contract that he
Yep.
gave up. Diba? But I think what comes with the territory, kumbaga sa trabaho na to, yes, diba? Knowledge is a really scarce currency. Kumbaga, the more that you know, the more that you become powerful. And I think sa position ni Woj nga is, because now it's not just normal average people asking him.
The GM.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
from top to bottom is trying to get a head start by asking him, anong alam mo?
Yeah.
Parang ano yan eh, Game of Thrones eh, di
Oh,
ba?
exactly.
Yung-
Proximity to power is the power, and if you're the hand of the king, yari ka dyan.
Not just, di ba,
Nakangiti
yung
ka kasi alam
whisperers.
namin, ha? Kasi alam namin,
Yung mga
eh.
whisperers natin dyan, di ba? Yung mga little birds telling you stuff. Malaking bagay kasi again, the more that you know, the more that you have control of the situation and you can manipulate anything. And that comes with the price, I think. And when he said, I want my life back, ako feeling ko is away from the stress of that, away from the constant probably hammering of people na anong alam mo, or maybe it can go as far as, is it worth to have these kinds of threats versus the 21 million na binitawan niya, diba?
Well, ako naman, with Woj, it might be something that he wanted to do for his alma mater because, I mean, both of us, if given an opportunity to serve our alma mater in different capacities, we would. Given an opportunity to be the athletic director of Sunbelt, I would do it. You go back to your... Patapos na po ako ng doctorate.
Ano po?
Shooting in the heavens, pero matagal pa yun. At wala ko i-recruit si Noah. Anyway, kasi may mga opportunities na ganyan na it might be once in a lifetime giving back, and he might need more than enough for the past few years. Kasi ako, Yahoo Sports ko pa nabasa nun si Woj dahil NBA Draft.net at saka Yahoo Sports.
Siyempre pag fantasy ka,
mahilig ka dyan
mahilig ka na agad dyan sa mga insights.
Lalo na player movement. Tapos naalala ko yung favorite Woj bomb ko was the New York Knicks trade for Carmelo. Kasi I got it with me and my best friend traveling from New York to Delaware sa kotse, and then the Woj bomb drop. Magkasama kami, pero yun yung feeling. May para kang para siyang yung nagbibigay ng heads up sa'yo para sa
Yeah.
team mo. Diba? So, parang, yun yung feeling.
I think what we love about him is the credibility behind the box.
Definitely.
Diba? Kasi ang dami naman nating alam na para nagpapaka-watch dyan, diba?
Yeah.
Both internationally and locally. And you're only as good as the last credible statement that you make, diba? The moment na nagkamali ka dyan, at hindi tumama yung gusto mong mangyari at sinasabi mo, wala na lahat yun, eh, di ba? Hindi ka na
Exactly.
pagkakatiwalaan. And I think that's what kind of Woj built around him, eh. Di ba? Yung credibility niya, na pag sinabi niya, nagbagsak siya ng ganyan, asahan mo.
Mangyayari.
Di ba? Yan yun eh. Yan yung mangyayari dyan. And so, pati ngayon, pati yung mga powerful people, nilalapitan siya. And I think it got, and again, pwede lang tayo mag-assume, di ba? It got very dangerous, quote-unquote, for him. Kasi 21 million dollar.
Yeah.
Talaga lang, ha? Binitawan mo ba
Tsaka
yun?
hindi lang yun eh. Parang yung for all the general managers bugging you, for all the player agents bugging you, and non-stop mobile phone alerts, calls. Kasi ako, with the NFL, siya si parang Adam Schefter, nagbe-break ng news. So, in the middle of interviews, biglang may tatawag, ganyan. So, might be affecting his mental health with the toll. And serving a Franciscan school, it's going back to your roots. It's something that he wanted to do.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say the mind games also behind it. Alam naman natin, nothing is black and white.
Wala.
Nothing is black and white. Di ba? Game of Thrones fans would probably agree that what you see up front is just a byproduct of a lot of things na nangyari behind the scenes. Di ba? And even the timing. Kumbaga, paminsan, babayaran ka para sabihin na huwag mo munang ilabas. I-delay mo muna ng konti. Or ganito ang pagsabi. Kasi it can alter the entire playing field. Di ba? Pati yung stock options, pati yung value, pati yung timing din nila sa ibang bagay. Yung isang balita na yun, that's why media is so powerful. Kasi di ba, and people listen. He has built himself at a pedestal. Nandun na siya kataas na ngayon sobrang valuable na yung every word na lumabas sa bibig niya. Even sa gathering siguro sa family, pati yun nagagamit na ng information.
Parang parehas sila ni na nagbe-break ng news. I mean, Shams is now competing with him. And it might be the next guy. And parang untouched siya ngayon. Wala na siyang kakompetensya. But again, it's information dissemination is really vital for pro teams. And every little edge that they can get.
That's right.
Kasi we're talking about a lot of zeros. Again, we're talking about a lot of zeros when it comes to things like that. Yung magbibigay sa'yo ng edge, then we can say the Golden State Warriors really multiplied and really grew with championships. Tapos yung valuation ng franchise nila, lumaki. Nung binenta nila Joe Lacob yung franchise. I mean, sobra-sobra pa na sa iniisip nila through winning. And how did they do that? Through acquisition of players and player performance. So that's a leg up for that Woj gave the public.
And we only benefit, sa totoo lang, the public, nagbe-benefit lang tayo dun sa mga dinadrop niya publicly. Pero I'm sure people also benefit for the things that he drops behind the scenes. Diba? Yung mga sinasabi niya, meron din kasi siyang, may ganun pa rin laruan sa likod.
Definitely.
Diba? And so yung mga binabato niya na, ito, hindi ko to ilalabas, pero ito ang nangyayari. That's still vital information. Na pwede mo pa rin ibato. And so nagbe-benefit and people I think would still pay for something.
Exactly.
So,
would miss him. I think I would miss him.
I would.
He's somebody that you can depend on when it comes to news. I hopeful. Again, his protege turned arch rival, si Shams. I hope he can live up to it. And sorry, pardon my language, pero it takes balls kasi to be in that position.
Exactly,
But you're going to be crossing a lot of lines by dropping these things before they even know. Sometimes masakit pa sa player eh. Di ba na malaman nila before pa di ba before pa sila sabihan, nalalaman nila kay Woj eh. Diba?
And tayong tatlo, as part of the sports media industry, syempre, nandun yung risk.
Ikaw, hindi ako nag-risk. No risk, no biscuit. Kaya po ako, strength and conditioning coach. Kasi ayoko yung mga decision making na ganyan. Tataas yung BP ko dyan eh. Okay na ako na nagpapa-weights, saka analyst po ako talaga.
Parang nagkakahalata.
Hindi, I mean, as you get up there, mahirap na. Baka dahil yung pressure when that comes with the job. Kaya ako, lagi ako objective. Kami, analyst kami. We analyze what's happening on the
Yeah.
court. Bahala na
Numbers
kayo.
don't lie. So
Numbers.
parang stick to facts.
Oo,
Things that are
factual.
factual.
Okay.
Pag kayo kay Woj kasi ang
But right
hirap.
now, kung anong ginagawa natin, medyo nandun na rin eh.
That's right. Assumptions, safe assumptions.
Haka. Usapan ng mga uncle mo pag nasa dinner table.
Okay, now let's move on to our second hot take. So, it seems like Gilas youth coach Josh Reyes and SPP are going separate ways. So, who can or should be the next Gilas youth coach?
Coach Martin, you wanna start?
A name that is thrown out there and is definitely, I think the next guy would be LA Tenorio. It's been
Okay.
reported in multiple sources that LA has been offered the job and
Re-offered.
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 Kasi
Yeah.
si
tinanggihan niya na,
Coach
di ba?
JB.
Oo na.
Okay,
Di ba tinanggihan
I see,
niya na? Initially, lumabas na sa media na tinanggihan niya. Tapos ngayon, parang umuugong na naman na mukhang
Siya.
banabalikan na naman siya para for this one. And yeah, but is he, what are your thoughts about Coach LA?
He has won championships as a player and also as part of Coach Bonitan's staff with the Letran Knights. He is mentored by some of the best point guards in Coach Jose Pasela, in Alaska, in Ginebra, now in San Miguel. So he has been well-traveled and now it's for him to apply all those knowledge. Pero it's a different animal, coaching and playing. So very, very few are the ones that really are very good at playing and
Do you think this is a play to establish consistency? Siyempre, pinag-usapan natin ang current men's head coach kasi is Coach
Definitely.
Tim Cone, di ba? And then, who would understand the way it's being played than his number one point guard, which is LA Tenorio. And so bringing them down to the youth program, may continuity, di ba? Parang may funnel.
Which is the most important thing for our national team yan. It's the continuity from there. Papunta pa lang ako dun sa grassroots. Kasi yung grassroots, pinaka-importante yan. Yung feeder program na natin yan eh. Papunta sa national team. And yung isa sa mga nag-guide sa atin through the best stretch of Philippine basketball was LA Tenorio. We gotta give it to him. He was one of the point guards, sila ni Jason, ang nandiyan sa programa Kuya Jimmy Alapag, Coach Jimmy. So they are the guys that can definitely lead teams. Jimmy Alapag is now with the Stockton Kings, nasa G League. Jason is still playing. LA is now on the latter part of his career. He won against the Big C and then now an opportunity to re-establish. Establish na naman yung national team natin but reaffirm our dominance here in Asia. Yun yung kailangan natin makuha. And LA would be a great fit.
But I have a question for you guys since nagko-coach din kayo and dad of players. As a coach for the youth, ano ba yung qualifications or paano ba dapat yung coaching or best way to handle the kids?
I would probably, number one, you have to understand the field. Hindi ka pwedeng sumabak nang hindi mo naiintindihan kasi iba na yung labanan niya yun, di ba? Iba yung labanan ng local. Kung magko-coach ka locally, yung kalakaran dito, the way things are done. Pero on an international space, iba. So ako nga, parang for me, ultimately, if Coach LA is gonna take this job, he still needs to get a lot of help from an international consultant. For me, personally. Kasi I think, again, I'm really saddened to see Coach Josh leave the post. Okay? But another good way to approach this is to have a handshake. Di ba na natulungan din ni Coach Josh si LA? Kasi si Coach Josh, ilang taon
As an
niya
offensive coordinator, di ba?
ilang taon niyang hinawakan to eh. Inaral niya na rin naman kung paano ba maglaro sa Southeast Asia, sa Asia, and sa Worlds. Nag-coach siya sa Worlds, di ba? Naintindihan niya lahat yan, di ba? And parang, ang hirap nung kung mamanahin to, and this is for any coach, okay? Ang hirap ng mamanahin mo wala kang experience.
Exactly.
Ibang-iba, hindi mo pwedeng ganito naman kami. Kaya yung madami nagsasabi na dapat kumuha tayo ng high school coach or college coach na existing.
Diba?
Kahit sino pa yan, iba ang laro pagka sinabi mong international. Ibang-iba. Diba, yes, pwede mo sabihin, sanay na yung manalo, whatever. True. Credentials-wise, meron na napatunayan. Pero like I said, katulad na sinabi ni Coach Martin, iba pa rin ang successful player sa transitioning to a coach. hindi automatic na porket sobrang galing mo star player ka, automatic magaling ka na coach. Iba si Coach Tim Cone ba? Ganun ba na player? Winningest coach natin, hindi naman ganun, di ba? So, it's tricky kasi kasama dyan sa mix ng conversation is also Coach Norman Black, which we talked about off-air, na pwede ba siya, nasa SBP na rin po siya, hinahandle niya yung grassroots na rin ng, and he's been touring around the Philippines.
And then around abroad din.
Trying to check what's out there. And that's another thing, di ba? Kasi ang isa pang kwento, sige, sabihin natin may sistema. Pero ang tanong, meron ka bang materyales? Di ba? So next mo nga hanapin is, may pyesa ka ba? Di ba? So whoever is the coach that's gonna sit there, you have to have the bandwidth to do that. I don't know if LA is gonna take this job kasi ang next batch pa naman yata for under 16 is the 2009 batch, and that's the batch already of guys like sina Tyler Reyes, right? Yung grupo na nila yan medyo malaki yung malakas yung 2009 natin in terms of height. So we have around what, 2 years, a year to prepare, I think so.
Ito yung mga nasa under 16 ng UAAP at saka NCAA kiddies niya.
Sila na yan, di ba? So ang tanong is, meron ka bang enough time to establish, study the field, and then get enough talent, di ba? So ang tanong, if Coach LA is gonna take this job, does he have the bandwidth to do that? Now, given he still has Ginebra, he's still playing there, so you're probably looking for somebody also who has the time to do that. So we don't know. Again, these are all, hindi kami si Woj na pagka nagbitaw kami, confirm. Di ba?
Hindi po to confirm, pero hindi rin namin i-deny.
Ito again, haka-haka lang, kayo rin, pwede kayo mag-share sa comment section kung sinong sa tingin nyo, di ba? Bato kayo ng pangalan, tapos pwede namin pag-usapan dito at sabihin, ang problema dyan, or okay yung suggestion mo. Pero kami, as far as we're concerned, ito yung mga top names na lumalabas kasi. And possibly, si Coach Norman might have the bandwidth.
Oh, definitely.
To do that.
Since he's a consultant now for San Beda and Meralco, Coach Norman Black, we know him. He won championships with Ateneo, with the PBA, won a Grand Slam in the PBA. He helped. He was one of the guys that worked out with the guys of San Beda. Gave Cliff Hopia and Dami Contapay a fighting chance in the pros, and now they're doing well. You gotta give credit there. Pero kasi kung babalikan natin, retroactively, titignan natin yung coaching staff ni Coach Josh. He had the best high school coaches.
Coach Alan,
Coach Alan Albano,
right.
Coach JB Season, Coach Rob Labagala, and Coach Alan Ricardo. Of course, my boy, Coach Alan Ricardo, how could I forget him? Ando dun lahat ng mga champion coaches, and they know how to teach. That's number one. Kasi if you're getting the youth team, these guys you really need to develop them, and kailangan talaga program. Dito parang Team USA na tryout. AAU, tryout. You have to develop these kids na magkakasama sila. Parang yung nangyari sa Argentina gold medal team na since they were 14, 15 years old, they were competing against each other. Upon talent identification, they're together. They've been training from the junior circuit to the under 21 to the Olympics.
Ito ba, Coach Martin, just taking it from what you're saying, I think ang isa pang qualification, Kyla, is yung hindi ka rin tali sa isang eskwelahan or you have no affiliation. Tricky yun kasi nga, may tendency na hindi magpapahiram yung eskwelahan ng player nila.
Yun yung pinakamahirap.
Kasi takot sila na, ipapasok mo kasi doon or kukunin mo dito. Kung hindi ka nakatali sa kahit anong team, then pwede kang ipaibaya yung player ko sa'yo, di ba? Magbe-benefit pa yan, di ba? So, for example, with Coach Josh also, that's something. Di ba? He wasn't tied to any schools So, that means, nakikita ng mga tao is, kung ako yung coach, magbe-benefit pa yung player ko
with the international
pag nandun siya. Para pagbalik niya dito sa akin, okay pa siya. Tataas pa yung skill set niya, yung confidence niya. So, isa yun I think crucial yun. I think crucial na hindi ka tali sa isang eskwelahan or else there will always be a lingering fear of these schools.
Losing the kid.
Do we lend our players?
Sino pa bang who's
Okay, so yun nga. Coach, first is Coach Ali, Coach Norman. Kaso, what's stopping Coach Norman?
We don't know. We don't know if SBP has actually approached him because we just saw a couple of articles na si LA nga parang nire-offer ulit, 'di ba? But Coach Norman, I don't know. We're just saying na parang it's logical also because
kasi siya yung available.
Tsaka siya yung nasa grassroots
nasa grassroots.
Kasi SBP nagde-decide, 'di ba? So
if not him, sino pa? Last.
Sino pa ba?
LA, Norman.
Coach Eric Altamirano. Coach Eric
is
Altamirano had the experience
Agreed,
of handling
agreed.
the national team. He handled the NBTC. He is overseeing a lot of international competitions na pumupunta sa atin ng mga bata. Napipili na SPNation Select. Yan sila sa Lucero, sila Galinato, came from that feeder program, tumakbo, yung ang tumakbo SPNation.
Huwag na tayo sino ba galing sa tumakbo? Hindi yung main endorser natin dito.
Si Dwight
galing sa tumakbo.
Si Dwight galing sa tumakbo. So, lahat yan, dumaan doon sa program ng NBTC. And Coach Eric has been handling this in the high school programs for the longest time.
And ako, I've spoken to Coach Eric multiple times, and I know for a fact that he does his research internationally. Diba? Even in his 3x3 program, they would hire international players and coaches to work on that. So, malaking bagay kasi yun eh. So, I agree. I forgot about it, but yes.
Ngayon lang nung pinag-uusapan natin kay
Live
team nila, diba? Parang, si Coach Eric, he already handled this team and he was very successful in laying the foundation of what we know now as the Batang Gilas.
And he got to tour also the Philippines because of NBTC. Kasi nakita niya rin eh. Di ba yung tournament format niya, umiikot talaga yan eh. Tapos maglalaban-laban dito sa ano. Plus, pati yung mga foreign players, nakita na din niya. Nakita na din. So he has the network. I think he has the experience also. So Coach Eric should be also part of that conversation.
Okay. So on the business side, business or career side, kunyari tayong mga coach to, ano yung makakapigil sa atin? Kasi syempre, it feels,
a lot of zeros.
It feels nice na, youth yung kino-coach mo. Mas may say ka din. But, ano ba yung sa tingin niyo yung downside?
Pwede ba akong mauna dito? Kasi it's the
Go.
security of tenure. Tenure kasi talaga. When it comes to the national team, it's a very shaky subject when it comes to tenure. Dahil pag hindi ka nanalo, hindi ka na agad magaling. Kasi sa Pilipinas, we're
Sino nagkikriticize sa'yo?
kapwa
Buong bansa.
Pilipino!
Buong bansa kasi national team eh. Di ba? Iba yung eskwelahan lang. Eskwelahan lang ang mga ano sa'yo eh. Alumni lang.
Pwede mo i-off eh. Pwede mo i-off yung notifications mo. Pero pag ito,
Pag buong bansa,
ginagawa ka na ng mga meme. Ako, I feel it for Coach Josh because I'm outspoken about this. I'm a believer of Coach Josh. I played for one of the teams that he coached. And I saw him growing through that role. And ibang klase magtrabaho yung tao. Hindi lang nakikita ng mga ibang Pilipino. Kasi yung kalaban natin, hindi na pipitsugin. Yun na talaga yung mga best of the best of the best in the world. But again, hats off to Coach Josh. If he would be part of the program, very good. Because we need
him. We need him.
We need him to connect and to collaborate yung dating program with the new one. But again, Norman Black, Eric Altamirano.
LA Tenorio.
Can't go wrong.
Any last thoughts?
Well, I wanna take this time to again pay tribute to Coach Josh and what he did to the program. And again, this is me not being biased, but again, I've seen behind the scenes the hard work that people would put in, the sacrifice. Diba? It's not the most luxurious job, diba? Who likes something like where you can be crucified anytime for any little thing? And I hats off to Coach Josh. You never heard him speak up against people.
Ay, mayroon pa palang isa.
Sino pa?
Thank you, Matthew. Alden Ayo.
Isa pa yan.
You guys mentioned that before.
Uy, pinost ko to nung season, I think this was season 95, pre-pandemic. I said that Coach Alden Ayo and Mayhem will be perfect for the national team, especially for tama. Thank you, Matthew. Buti pinaalala mo kasi ang dami nating mga pinag-uusapan ng mga pangalan. Coach Alden Ayo is not tied with anything right now. Has championships in the UAAP and the NCAA. Has a system that uses speed, outside shooting, and physicality, which is tatlong check agad sa mga Pilipino. Goodness. Coach Alden Ayo and Coach Mac Louis. That's a very, very good name to float there.
So to our viewers, sino ba sa tingin nyo ang dapat na coach ng Gilas Youth? So guys, comment down below, right?
Basta hindi kaming dalawa. Kami wala kaming bandwidth. Ako wala akong bandwidth.
Squad.
Wala akong bandwidth. Ako, chichir ko na lang yung pinsan ko at anak mo. Yan.
Go Gilas lang ba? Kaya namin yan.
Pagka nakita niyo po kami sa mga international competition, na nasa likod kami ni Coach JB, alam niyo na kung bakit. Cheering uncles and dads.
And we need more people cheering and behind the team. More nakakampi than,
Iba kasi yung preparation pag mga bata. Iba yung sakripisyo ng mga bata.
Okay, now let's move on to our last hot take for tonight. So NBA season is right around the corner. So let's talk about newly signed player of the Dallas Mavericks, Klay Thompson. So people think that Klay should be the full-time sixth man of Dallas, but being the team's sixth man, syempre merong trust and responsibility yan.
Yeah.
So with how Klay is, playing style and mentality niya right now, is that a good idea?
You wanna start?
Any time that you're a veteran guy, that you can preserve your body, you could take as many shots as you want. You would get an opportunity to play with two of the best creators, and you're coming off the bench. Magiging different lang is the approach on how he gets his points. Pero for the most part, it's not, mag-agree ka dito ako, JB, it's not who starts the games. It's the finishing five.
Yep.
That's the most important part. So, ayaw mo ko nga, ano yung big deal about being starter? Siguro dahil sanay lang
The
sila.
prestige.
Yung
Yeah,
prestige.
exactly.
But again,
Getting called out siguro.
Oo, parang yung gusto ko yung na-interview si Andre Iguodala. When, I forgot sino yung kakwentuhan niya nito. He was telling them that I should be paid like a starter, but I don't like to start anymore. Because I can get my buckets and I can initiate the offense for the second group. I can be the focal point. I'm the sixth starter.
Yeah.
So yun yung mindset niya. And in the end game, nandoon siya sa death lineup. So it could be a very good role for him. Kasi as you get up there in age, the recovery process gets a little bit more tedious for you. Kaya nga marami nagre-retire na players, hindi dahil dun sa NBA season.
Yeah.
It's the preparation and the other things, hindi yung paglalaro.
And I have to say, okay, can I just parang medyo shift a little bit na itong mga ganito na the fact na pinag-uusapan na natin na dapat bang sixth man si Klay, ito yung mga tipong galawan behind the scenes na sinasabi namin na si Woj could be a part of it.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi pwedeng si Dallas pinapaugong na. Bakit? Kasi nangako sila kay Klay na magsa-start si Klay. Kaya nga umalis to ng Golden State kasi hinahanap niya yung dating minuto niya na feeling niya, I'm still the same guy. He got frustrated with Golden State. He's not getting the same minutes. He's not getting the same attention. And he thinks he's gonna find that in Dallas. Yun yung nakakatakot. So, ako, to answer this question, there are two sides to it, di ba? Parang, I will bring it back to the fact na, ikaw ba, Klay, ano ba ang hinahanap mo? Gusto mo lang ba mag-start? O gusto mo ba magkaroon ng same relevance as before? Kasi madali lang mag-start, pero upo ka the rest of the game. Diba? Iba naman yung usapan na gano'n, diba? Pero you have to understand, pag nag-start ka with Kyrie and Luka, like I said in a previous episode, magiging para kang Ray Allen dun sa trio ni Garnett
Which
and
is not a
Potter.
bad job. Which is not
But
a bad
hindi
job.
ka na, hindi
Ikaw yung focal
kaya ka
point.
nga umalis ng Golden State kasi hindi mo nga gusto yun eh.
Exactly.
Diba? Pero, pag pumunta ka dun sa sixth man, yes, you're not a starting five on paper or called out by the court announcer, di ba? But you can be like a James Harden when Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook was in Oklahoma, di ba? He built his own name in that second unit, and people were saying like, this guy's amazing, right? So if he still wants his minutes and if he still wants the amount of airtime, pagkahawak niya yung bola at siya gumagawa, makes things happen, the second unit is not such a bad idea. Diba? Because obviously, you cannot compete with Kyrie and Luka in the first unit to get airtime when it comes to handling the ball. Diba? Sa second unit, perfect ka. Meron ka pang, ang Dallas, ang kinuha pa si Dinwiddie. Diba? So parang may extra talent ka pa na who can probably feed him. Pero alam naman natin si Dinwiddie, may ano rin yan eh, may tendency na
Look to din eh.
Diba? So, again, it's gonna be tricky, pero ang nakakatuwa sa Dallas kasi is nung nagkuha sila ng mga player, biglang tumaas yung general average age nila. Parang pumapat na 32 years old yata ang general average kasi ang oldest yata nila is 37, 36. So, tumanda sila. Which I feel like it's also a good sign because parang kailangan maging veterano tayo. Masyado tayong bata last year.
Na-veterano sila ng Boston yung mga basic stuff na gano'n. Pero again, if you're looking at Klay's trajectory the past few years, with pre-injury Klay, a lot of his baskets, a lot of his shots came off shot creation of three people. It's Steph nga, pangatlo pa dun sa hierarchy na yun. It's Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, and then Steph, who are creating open shots for them. So, thinking as a basketball player, not as a basketball coach, it's easier to make baskets when you get the ball on spots na sweet spot mo na. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-create. But there is always room for that. But as you progress through your career, you want to get the easy buckets in transition. Hindi mo na kailangan magsayaw-sayaw. Parang kanina, kinukwento nga kay Coach JB na yung laro bumagal para sa Mapua. Kasi they're able to make the right reads, and one of the one of the standout high school players, Lawrence Mangubat, high usage rate when he was in high school. Ngayon, nakapark lang siya sa
Spot-up
corner,
shooter.
akbat na 3 points. Tapos, depensa rin siya, ngangat-ngat lang siya. So, mas nagiging madali yung basketball. So, again, it's all about efficiency. When you get to that level, ako, di mo game play. Pero when you get to that level, if you get to the pros, efficiency lagi. It's efficiency. Pero pag ako yung tatanungin, gusto kong role yung kayo doon ni Saslim. Nandun ako sa bench, taga-awat lang ako.
Taga-turo pag may pumapalag sa kakampi mo.
Taga-gano'n lang.
Pero ako for me nga, for Clay to get, kasi ito nga, tama yung sinabi mo, Coach hindi naman it's not about who starts who finishes. Yun yung importante, di ba? So ako, he can get his points in the second unit. Eventually, Kyrie and Luka will have to rest. Di ba? And if it's a long season, di ba, and they're looking to extend in the postseason also, you need good relievers also. And Clay can bring in those buckets in the second unit. But, kasi ipunin niya na yun Pag sixth man na siya, ipunin niya na sa second unit yun. Kasi pagbalik niya dun sa finishing five, hindi na siya makakahawak ng bola dun For sure. Luka and si Kyrie na ang tatapos ng laro So, magiging na spot-up shooter. So, naiintindihan
na kailangan nila nung Boston series, tsaka nung mga ibang playoff series nila. Nagko-collapse yung defense. Alam na yung gagawin ni Luka tsaka ni Kyrie. Nandidiin sila drive, pero hindi nakastay home sa shooters, kina-clog yung game.
And for me, he can be that constant variable Kasi si Luka tsaka si Kyrie, pag naglalaro rin ng sabay, ikaw muna Kyrie, ikaw muna Luka.
Your turn, my turn
Magpapahinga yung isa ang babanat. Kailangan mo ng shooter kasi one-on-one players yung mga yun di ba? So, ang pwedeng constant variable nila doon, si Clay. Di ba? He can stay for the longer in the game. So, being a sixth man for me is, I think, the most ideal, again, if he's willing to swallow his pride and say, look, it's a matter of really embracing this new role, new season, but still getting the same probably attention that he's seeking that he didn't get in Golden State. I think sixth man is the best.
But out of curiosity, since na-mention mo nga earlier na the reason kung ba't siya umalis sa Warriors is gusto niya maging, yung time niya before, di ba? And then pumunta siya dito sa Dallas kasi gusto niya maging somehow a star. Nakasama ng first five. But sa tingin mo, anong nangyari sa usapan kung bakit wala siya sa first?
Well, hindi pa naman. Haka-haka pa rin naman to. And parang may suggestion nga lang, again, from some analysts na baka better nga na mag-sixth man.
May quickness ka, may Najee Marshall ka na up and down maglaro.
Saka they acquired new players din kasi that actually
Just
fill up the role.
strategy.
And yung pinasok nila sa potential starting five kasi are defensive players. Right? So that means they need guys that will do the dirty work. And Clay, I don't think it's the same Clay na, stopper mo si Clay. Hindi na siya ganun Di ba? Hindi na siya stopper. So what they did is, high-octane offense ka with Kyrie and Luka, but you also have to, it's a two-way game. You can't just be all offense, right? So you need defensive players also. So kung ipapasok mo pa si Clay sa starting five na pwedeng maging liability sa defense, patay na. Di ba? Kawawa na si Dallas. So I think him taking on that role as a scorer in the second unit and still being surrounded by other defensive players is still a bonus for Clay. And it will extend his career, it will extend his playing time, his air time in the game. So I think that's the perfect.
Siya maganda nga pagka he gets inserted in the finishing five. PJ Washington can shoot, he can shoot. You got Gafford or Lively as your rim protector, and then you got two creators. Malaking bagay yun for him. Better. But again, if it's ego speaking, baka mag-cause ng a little bit of friction.
Kasi si Clay, kahit nasabihin natin na spot-up shooter siya, we know for a fact that Kyrie and...
He's one of the best spot-up shooters
But Kyrie
ever.
and Luka kasi, they're so good at shot creating that they rarely pass Sa sobrang galing nila, di ba? So kunin mo na lang yung minuto at puntos mo sa second unit.
We're gonna say in group, let it fly, let it fly.
Okay, that's a smart strategy. But for now, let's move on to our comments. Okay, so first, NBA wouldn't be the same without Woj. Na-pressure yan masyado sa team executives. He's the best to ever do that job.
I agree. We can only assume. Pero
hypothesize.
But that's true. I think that ako kasi talaga sobrang cryptic nung sinabi niya I wanna get my life. Yung bakay, di ba? Yun talaga for you to say that.
Yeah.
May hugot
Grabe
din.
May hugot ka, di ba? So,
attach ka sa phone mo, attach ka sa info, everybody saying so many things, everybody asking things. You can only do so much with it.
I think what would drive a person crazy in his position is what he cannot say.
Yeah.
Iba yung what you can say. What drives a person crazier is yung ang dami mong alam pero hindi mo pwedeng sabihin. Mas
Ilabas.
nakakasira ng ulo yun.
Totoo.
And it's not like an 8 to 5 job, di ba? Maya't maya, kahit gabi, biglang may notification.
It's a 24/7.
Yung gamitan,
Yeah.
pwedeng kasing ginagamit rin siya eh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Di ba? Para lang, para magpainit. Ito, bitawan mo tong bomba na to, di ba? Or something like that. So,
And then
mahirap.
the hate.
Mahirap yun.
Diba? Okay, next comment. Louis Alas or Alden Ayo for next Gilas youth coach. Madadala nila yung championship experience nila from college youth.
Definitely Tagaletran tang nag-comment. Definitely. Pero ako, Alden Ayo. Alden Ayo looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, with his credential, ay papaulit-ulit ako. Pero kasi si Coach Louie,
Tali siya sa Ateneo ngayon.
nakatali siya sa
Yeah.
Ateneo.
Medyo delikado lang.
And
May MPBL pa siya.
May MPBL with Zamboanga. But again, with Alden Ayo, nakalimutan ko si... Honestly, nung
Dami,
sabi si
madami
Alden,
rin naman.
kasi ang dami mga pangalan. Coach Eric nga nakalimutan natin. Pero Coach Alden, kung hindi man siya maging head coach, defensive coordinator, mayhem. Mayhem with 15-year-olds. Tapos mga kalaban mo, well, we'll see. We'll see how SVP will roll it out.
Okay, next comment. Should we replace the position with a local coach or international
Oh,
coach?
2 parts. I think both.
Yeah.
I think both.
Collab?
Collab.
Yeah,
Oo, kailangan
we
mo
need
na-
both. We need
Tama yung tulad nga sinabi ni Coach JB kanina na you need to have experience. Nakikita natin yan ngayon sa college. Diba? There are St. Benilde, who is 4-0 in the NCAA. I could only speak for the NCAA dahil nandun ako. I'm doing the coverage. Coach Raiko is a big influence on Coach Charles when he started coaching. And it's good to have that wisdom with you. Kaya sa Beda o as
Yeah.
Coach Boyet Fernandez, as Coach Norman Black, giving nuggets of wisdom din kay Yuri. But Yuri is the ultimate decision maker. Even on the UAP, may mga ganyan. You need to have senior and credible advisors. Okay? So, yung international coaching experience, malaking bagay yan.
Yeah.
Tulad sinabi ni Coach JB, ang hirap pagpapasok ka sa ganyan, tapos wala kang idea kung sino yung mga kalaban mo.
Yep. So thank you, Justin Perez, for that comment. Last two comments. Sorry. Let those qualified coach go for the next job. You guys are good to criticize the coach who have no international experience. Mas mabuti na ang may track record kesa wala pang na patunayan na champion. Adjusting international is just an easy shift compared to a developmental coach and winning mindset.
Easy shift.
Arnaldo, I have to respectfully disagree. Shifting to international competition is not an easy shift, I would have to say. Kahit gaano ka pa kagaling, international, lalo na kung 10 steps, 20 steps sila ahead of our program, and you have to form a program that can catch up to something that's 10 years ahead of you in terms of program development. Hindi po siya madaling shift. And that's not even talking about the material that they have. Diba?
Yeah.
Sistema pa programa pa lang pinag-uusapan natin. Wala pa yung materialis na pinag-uusapan. Hindi po madali ang international space.
Kahit po yung South Sudan, yung mga yun, pinag-usapan natin dito ng Olympics, yung mga South Sudanese na yun, half yung nationality nila. Hindi po yung mga purong Sudanese na nakita nila doon. Naglalaro, nakita lang ni Luol Deng. Kasi na-spoil tayo na itong South Sudan competed in the Olympics and gave Team USA a scare. So, iba pa rin pagka iba ang tawagan. Number one, iba ang tawagan.
Mas tataya pa ako sa coach na hindi pa nagcha-champion sa level ng, and if you were just to compare two things, mas tataya pa ako sa coach na may international experience at hindi pa nagcha-champion sa collegiate or sa high school level or whatever, pero may international experience versus na nag-champion dito sa local level pero walang international experience. Kasi iba ang pinag-usapan. They hired that coach for a local tournament but not an international tournament because iba talaga from getting ready. How soon? Si Coach Josh was looking as far as, kailangan natin mag-tune up with this. Kahit yung network, ang hirap kumuha ng tune-up game with international teams. Kung wala kang network.
Lilipad ka doon.
Oo, kung wala kang network. Si Coach Josh had that network. Kaya nakakuha tayo ng mga international tune-up games na na-prepare pa rin yung mga bata. Kung wala yun, zero. Ang
Yun
daming mga
hindi
ganyang
nakikita.
intangibles
Again,
sa mga
yun yung mga
tao.
kasama ng watch bombs. Yun yung mga nasa likod. What's
Yeah.
happening behind the scenes na this is part of the preparation process that you don't see. Ang nakikita lang kasi ng karamihan sa atin, most of us, see the finished product.
Yeah.
So maraming pong processes yan and maraming mga prerequisites, mga
Oo nga, no?
kinakailangan.
Hindi ka natanong, sino bang watch bomb ng Pilipinas?
Watch bomb ng Pilipinas,
Wala.
lahat!
Mga marites.
lahat memo eh. Pagka natalo yung team, magaling. Kailangan tanggalin natin to. Pag nanalo, ang galing pala nito. Huwag kayo
You
obvious.
elaborate.
Alam nyo na yan. Alam
Okay,
nyo yan.
last comment.
Kahit yung magtataho sa amin, galing mag-coach.
Angelo Magsino, mas okay ang 6-man si Clay para pag pagod star players ng map, still may shooting man pa din sila, may pang late game.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Saka mainit na si Clay pagpasok nung late game eh, di ba? Napainit na siya kasi kung spot up lang siya tapos hindi naman siya makakahawak kay Luka at kay Kyrie masyado, hindi din siya mag-iinit sa dulo eh.
So that's it for tonight. I hope you guys learned a thing or two because I learned a lot from you guys from tonight's show. So if you're ready to elevate your sports experience, dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus PH. Whether you're a diehard fan or simply love the thrill of a game, we've got you covered, so register now at sportsplus.ph. And if you guys want to hear more from us, follow us on Sports Plus PH on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and whatever social media there is. Once again, I'm your host, Kyla Cortez. Together with me are Coach Juan Banal and Coach Martin Antonio.
MySpace. Wala namang MySpace.
Ay,
Natawa ka!
Sports reference, sir!
Nabas ang age, guys. Sorry, Friendster na abutan ko. Pero
Grabe,
mga 7 years old pa
reference.
siya.
Disarmed.
Wala na yan, guys. Okay. But thank you guys so much. Bye.
Everybody knows preparation plus opportunity equals success. I remember going back to my parents and just like crying. I'm like, I don't really want to play anymore. This is not for me. But like my parents, my brother was there, my sister was there. Obviously, I don't want to let them see me cry. Basketball is really life for me. Everything I do since I was young too. Didn't take no vacations. I was just all basketball. I mean, I'm super interested just to ask them, like, what do you want to be? I guess that's something I should do. And I'm gonna keep playing for you guys.
And that is a wrap.